Christina and I are super excited to be here with you to talk to you about how you can transform your business processes with SAP on AWS under the latest go-to-market called RISE. I'll introduce myself. My name is Salad Khan. I run our global technical alliance with SAP and also America's partner solution architecture business. I have the pleasure of being here with Christina Graisman. I'll hand it off to her and I'll be back on stage to talk more about our modernization and success with SAP on AWS. Christina?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Salad. Hey everybody, my name is Christina Graisman. I am also part of the SAP on AWS team, and I am responsible for the overall global SAP Alliance and channel strategy. Okay, so as Salad said, we're going to be talking about transforming business processes with RISE with SAP on AWS. So for our agenda, we're going to just go through a couple of topics here. First, we're going to talk about why innovation is imperative and how this is can be a sustainable competitive advantage, and how you can leverage RISE with SAP in order to do that. Then we're going to dive deep into how you can accelerate innovation by transforming processes with RISE with SAP on AWS. We're also going to take a look how you can use those same capabilities to simplify your S/4HANA journey to get there faster and modernize your AWS infrastructure along the way. And then lastly, we're going to look at some simple steps on how to get started. And then if we've got some time, we'll be available for some questions and answers. Okay, so as we consider how to best transform your business processes with RISE with SAP on AWS, first, let's take a look at why this type of innovation is important to your organization in the first place. History has shown how challenging it is to stay on top. A historical look at the Fortune 500, the largest companies in the United States, tells the story. As relayed in a previous reInvent keynote by Andy Jassy, Amazon's CEO, if you go back to 1970, only 16% of Fortune 500 companies on the list at that time exist today. And if you rewind to just the year 2000, only 46% of companies are on that list. Increasingly, it is digital disruption that is causing Fortune 500 companies to go out of business. So there's a constant need to reinvent yourself once or many times in order to stay relevant amidst an ever-changing environment. The simple answer is innovation is imperative for any company looking to sustain their relevance and competitive advantage, to not just survive, but to thrive. So working with millions of AWS customers and reflecting on Amazon's own innovation journey, we believe there are just a few things that separate companies who sustain success from those who don't. And it's not about trying to predict the future or building an immovable fortress that can withstand any storm. It's about, as this quote from Jeff Bezos, Amazon's founder, illustrates, agility is most effective. Being able to, and ready to adapt as needed. We know from our own history that the only sustainable competitive advantage is agility. Everything else can be replicated. So it's not only having the capabilities, but the resolve to quickly adapt to challenges in the environment is where most companies are going to prosper. So to become agile and to have the freedom and the capabilities to sustain a competitive advantage, customers are increasingly migrating to the cloud. Studies find the advantage is real. According to IDC, IT teams found that they can deliver 3 times more features in the cloud versus on-premises. And in a recent McKinsey quarterly study, they found that mature cloud adopters were able to get to market 55% faster versus those on-premises. And that's why 98% of the C-level executives that AWS recently polled this year reported that the cloud is essential to digital transformation. The advantage is especially profound when we look at mission-critical workloads like SAP. This is why in a recent SAP Insider Survey that we commissioned this past October, customers cited innovation capabilities such as SAP Business Technology Platform as the #1 factor influencing their RISE with SAP decision. Even prior to the release of RISE, SAP customers have been utilizing AWS's innovation capabilities to transform their processes and innovate on behalf of their customers, their employees, and their stakeholders. So let's look at 3 companies who have done so to great effect. The first is Zalando. Zalando was able to increase the value of their SAP systems by integrating with AWS to steer their business in near real time while also realizing cost savings. The second is Lion. Lion was able to enhance its customer experience by leveraging both SAP and AWS in a new mobile app and portal for their customers. And the third is Invista. Invista also leveraged SAP and AWS to fully automate its stocking process for spare parts. It's reasons like these that thousands of SAP customers across industries and geographies have made AWS their innovation platform of choice for their mission-critical SAP systems. Working with this many customers over several years, many of whom are global businesses running production SAP systems on AWS, we have gained experience across dozens of use cases, and then we incorporate that experience into our offerings. When you decide to leverage AWS as your innovation platform of choice for your SAP systems, do so knowing that you are not alone. AWS plus our partners, plus our professional services organization, we have the tools, we have the experience, we have the knowledge to manage just about any situation that you can imagine. So, given that background, let's look a little more deeply at RISE with SAP. So, what is RISE with SAP? Well, in case you haven't heard, SAP released this offering last year, and it's a subscription-based solution that bundles the applications, the platforms, the tools, and the services that you need in order to adopt continuous innovation offered by the cloud. It includes SAP S/4HANA, analytics and business processes with continuous insight from applications like SAP Signavio, that it offers a guided journey and outcome-driven services from SAP and its partners, and it offers industry-next practices and extensibility with cloud solutions for 25 industries coupled with SAP Business Technology Platform, or BTP. So BTP enables innovations that natively integrate with SAP. BTP brings together data and analytics, artificial intelligence, application development, automation, all in one unified environment. And in a few minutes, Salit is going to go into greater detail about how you can leverage BTP and AWS services along with your RISE with SAP and S/4HANA journey. RISE with SAP customers choose AWS as the superior choice for their business. Some newsmaking transformations that SAP recently celebrated include Manchester Airports Group, Revlon, American Air Filters, and Balance. So as airline passengers numbers started to increase after the pandemic, MAG chose to streamline and optimize certain complex business processes in order to provide a best-in-class experience for their finance teams and their employees. They wanted to be agile and offer the best possible service to their customers and respond to needs across their colleagues in the workplace. MAG went live with RISE in March of this year, and it's just the first step on a 5-year digital transformation journey they're taking with SAP. Revlon, which last year saw net e-commerce sales soar by about 40%, remains committed to improving their end-to-end digital experience in order to support this channel. Revlon expects to bolster its digital infrastructure in order to help e-commerce operations become more nimble and innovative. By running RISE with SAP on AWS, American Air Filter can provide its staff the tools they need to help their customers and their businesses get clean, filtered air. So anyway, they were able to, by working with SAP and AWS, they were able to take best practice implementation processes and modify those areas with tremendous ROI potential. And then the fourth one is balance. By moving RISE with SAP and SAP Business Technology Platform, this New Zealand farmer-oriented cooperative was able to bring business value to its farmers. Balance was able to reduce the time that they were spending on internal resources by 10%, and they were able to shift their focus from delivering operational support and maintenance to driving value through on-farm digital services for its customers. So to summarize, RISE with SAP customers choose AWS because we offer proven capabilities to transform processes and accelerate innovation, simplify the S/4HANA journey, and modernize infrastructure on AWS. I am now going to turn things over to Salat, who's going to go into a little more detail on each of these topics with a specific focus on business process transformation.
Christina, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the innovation imperative. And as you said, companies are reinventing themselves by transforming their business process with SAP and AWS. And as Christina mentioned, I'd like to share a perspective with you on how you can transform your business by leveraging SAP on AWS. We see companies large and small going through the transformation journey in several different imperatives. For example, companies are leveraging Amazon Lookout for Vision and Amazon Lookout for Equipment to drive real-time monitoring with intelligent, data-driven decisions integrated with SAP Quality Management and SAP Asset Management that provide predictive maintenance and defect detection. Companies are also working to transform their supply chain to seek new revenue streams through differentiated business modeling with SAP and AWS, and they're also seeking ways to increase their productivity with process automation and providing personalized recommendations that delight our customers. Now, in order to do this, it's important to understand the imperative for innovation as it relates to the technology services provided in RISE with SAP. In RISE with SAP, the imperative is to move higher up the stack. Many of our customers understand that there has been a significant amount of customization done to their SAP systems to differentiate and to provide business value. Now, in order to see that differentiation come to light, we need to progress forward in simplifying the S/4 journey and using the knowledge we have in transforming business processes at a higher level, reducing our overall operational overhead and focusing more on revenue growth. SAP advises to keep the clean core and focus on leveraging solutions like BTP, Business Technology Platform, and building the differentiation layer with AWS services. I'll actually go a little bit deeper into each of the layers. Traditionally, we've been working together with SAP in building innovations in the infrastructure layer. So tooling like management services, security and compliance, core services have been there to provide differentiation, cost optimization, and full lifecycle management for SAP tooling. Then came the certification of SAP solutions like S/4HANA and third-party SAP solutions that provide that business value. And where we're headed is helping our customers produce that differentiation layer by leveraging SAP BTP Services combined with AWS services. And I'll go a little bit deeper into that in our next couple of slides. Now, in regards to the innovation layer, a critical component is having access to as many services as possible, which can be utilized to enrich, augment your business process. AWS has significantly more services, and as of this reinvent, over 300 services and more feature within those services than any other cloud provider. If you think about it, within infrastructure, we have services like compute, storage, databases, to new and emerging services like machine learning, artificial intelligence, data lake and analytics, IoT, all integrated with SAP as well. We also have the deepest functionality with those services. If you look at services like IoT and purpose-built different types of applications that leverage IoT, allow you to have the right tool for the right job. In addition to providing 300 plus services, we have a track record of helping SAP customers innovate with those services and BTP on the cloud. BTP services help customers simplify and speed transformation. You can update the core, you can update finance, you can update logistics, and you can update your ERP systems through services built on BTP. We have 29 SAP BTP services purposely built only on AWS. And with the rise of SAP, we'd like to invite you to build those services with us. Now let's look at the combined capability of those services on AWS. Today, SAP BTP has 8 regions where AWS offers the SAP Analytics Cloud. If you look at the solution and services that help you unlock the business value, it's going to be from your data. And we're poised to help you leverage those data analytic tools with SAP and SAP solutions on the cloud. I'll give you an example of a few services that only operate, that are available in 8 regions on AWS, 6 more than the nearest cloud provider. Starting with SAP Analytics Cloud Embedded Edition, customers can build and embed reports, dashboards, and visuals into your business applications to make confident real-time decisions. SAP Hana Spatial, leveraging geospatial data in your analytics reports, and SAP Graph. This is the Access SAP Managed Business Data Layer, where you can combine semantically connected data graphs spanning different suites of SAP products into a single pane. This is just a small sample of the combined capabilities our customers can access in the area of data and analytics. We also have 10 of 11 SAP BTP AI/ML, IoT, RPA services, purposely built only on AWS. I'll give you a couple of examples of those. For example, SAP Conversational AI. It's a natural language processing engine, which is part of BTP, that SAP customers can use to extend the SAP Fiori Copilot app, which is the chatbot, purposely built on AWS. SAP's IoT BTP services, in addition to the robotic process automation, the RPA services that leverage over 233 RPA use cases available on the SAP Store. Furthermore, AWS offers many services that help RISE with SAP customers speed your innovation in all areas of data and data transformation. We have several use cases that I'll talk about later in our presentation around Amazon SageMaker, IoT Core, and other services that are complemented for our customers in their innovation journey. Now, as part of your business transformation, it becomes imperative to look at moving to SAP Hana. I'll share a perspective with you on how we can help you simplify your S4 journey. In a recent study with ASUG, we learned that 90% of SAP customers use custom code, often with custom code objects that are in the thousands, to help deliver their business processes. Now, in addition to leveraging AWS services to replace those custom code, we are working with SAP to deliver BTP services, leveraging services like BTP low-code, no-code tools like SAP AppGyver to help deliver those new SAP innovations for our customers on AWS. There's several ways to implement those services on AWS, and I'm super proud to share that in working with SAP, we've delivered a joint reference architecture that covers 4 pillars. First being the foundation pillar, Second being the integration pillar. Third being the data. And fourth being the application pillar. We've given specific guidance to our customers to explore integration points, secure data extraction, data reference points, data enrich points. And I encourage all of you to seek out the sessions that we've delivered with SAP to go deeper into the joint reference architecture and work with us to build some of those prototypes to help you enhance your existing business processes. Now, we've seen several ways that customers can leverage the impact of RISE with SAP on AWS to help transform your business process, accelerate your innovation, and simplify your S4 journey. But how do you leverage that to modernize your infrastructure? Now, this slide gives me a reminder, like Christina mentioned earlier from our president and CEO, Andy Jassy, there's no compression algorithm to experience. And as you see on this slide, we've got over a decade of joint innovation with SAP on delivering new services and new innovation to our customers and partners. SAP consistently leverages the AWS services and platform to deliver their products like Concur, Qualtrics, SAP BTP itself, and the new offerings like SAP Analytics, Hana Cloud, Data Warehouse Cloud, all leverage AWS services. In fact, we partnered together with SAP over 5 years ago to deliver the first HANA public cloud offering on AWS, and today we run SAP BTP across 9 regions in the world. Well, why is that important? As you know, regions are physical locations in the world where we have multiple AZs for Amazon Web Services. And a single AZ consists of one or more discrete data centers, each with redundant power, networking, connectivity, security housed in separate facilities. And as of this reinvent, as of this year, we've announced 30 geographical regions, 96 availability zones, which is twice the number of regions to our closest provider, giving you, our customers and partners, the flexibility to build short-range and long-range DR with business process scenarios. Reliability is extremely important in running mission-critical workloads like SAP. A study IDC conducted that the estimated cost of just 1 hour of critical application failure is anywhere between $500,000 to over $1 million of business impact. RISE with SAP customers are seeking to avoid downtime, and we are the only cloud provider that provides zero recovery point objective, aka RPO 0, for short-range DR scenarios. RPO 0 helps safeguard critical transactions for your businesses, your business process innovation, and avoids extremely disruptive and costly interruptions. Gartner even recognized Amazon as a leader for the 12th straight year for providing infrastructure services that are reliable and responsible for our customers. Now, we believe this report validates our leadership to innovate. It sets standards for cloud computing. Millions of active customers every month and more than 100,000 partners from over 150 countries choose AWS to deliver these business goals. And in a recent study with ISG, AWS was recognized as SAP HANA Infrastructure Service Leader for the 5th straight year. We just announced our Graviton chipset. Actually, we announced our Graviton chipset early in the year for SAP HANA, and we're in the process of transforming SAP HANA Cloud to leverage the Graviton chipset also. When you begin to leverage the full service scenarios in developing your SAP S4 journey, you have the capability of leveraging all sustainable enterprises and lowering your carbon footprint. AWS can lower a customer's carbon footprint by nearly 80% today, and up to 96% when we have powered ourselves with 100% renewable energy, which we're on the path for by 2025. And according to 451 research studies, when compared to surveyed enterprise data centers across several geographic regions, AWS can lower a customer's carbon footprint by nearly 80% and up to 96% when 100% renewable energy has been achieved. In addition to that, when you're building out your new innovations on AWS for SAP, we have a list of several services that have been announced this year and services you can use to help accelerate your migrations into AWS for SAP. Some specific ones that are relevant for the RISE scenarios as well are virtual 18 terabyte and 24 terabyte instances also. With that, I'll hand it back to Christina on helping you get started.
Okay, so now that you've seen how RISE with SAP customers are transforming business processes, accelerating innovation to simplify the S/4HANA journey and modernizing infrastructure with AWS, let's take a look at some simple steps on how you can get started to do the same. Okay, the good news is there are a variety of ways to get started and help you explore your options. AWS and our partners have done this type of work thousands of times. Engage with SAP on AWS subject matter experts to jumpstart your journey with a discovery workshop. These are either half-day or full-day workshops, and they can be delivered by AWS Professional Services or an APN partner. And in these workshops, you can share more information about your current SAP environment, your plans, your challenges, and your priority initiatives. Explore how SAP on AWS might be able to help you accelerate your key initiatives and outcomes. You could explore potential architecture and migration strategies for your SAP landscape, and then finally start to assess the potential benefits of managing your SAP systems on AWS. So when you commit to running qualified or eligible SAP workloads on AWS, you can also receive consulting and training support and service credits through our migration, acceleration, and RISE programs. These programs help customers take the cost and the risk out of migrating to the cloud, and they can help you build a strong operational foundation. Customers who qualify receive the complimentary discovery workshop, an initial TCO estimate, and AWS credits to offset usage of AWS for a proof of concept or a pilot. So as noted before, as you go along this journey, AWS customers also benefit from the most mature set of technology and consulting partners available for SAP in the cloud through the AWS Partner Network, or APN. 91% of SAP customers work with an APN partner. Our network of SAP partners includes systems integrators, managed service providers, and ISVs, all of whom have built SAP-specific offerings that run on AWS. Our 77 SAP Competency Partners are the ones that are the most stringently vetted. These partners have to pass rigorous technical and business requirements. They have to take specialized training. They have to demonstrate their knowledge of the AWS well-architected framework, and they have to demonstrate previous SAP on AWS customer success. Our SAP competency program was the first of its kind, and it is far more rigorous than any competitor's program. So that means when you work with a competency partner, you can have the confidence that that partner has the tools and the experience to deliver success on time and on budget. So if you'd like to learn more, I recommend that you visit our SAP and AWS Hub. You can get to it either by scanning that QR code with your phone or visiting that website. And on that hub, you're going to be able to access a variety of content. First is an ebook that talks about some of the specific unique things that SAP and AWS are working on together. You can get RISE with SAP on AWS success stories and much more. If anyone else needs to take a picture, I'll give it another couple seconds. Okay. So in summary, today we've talked about the innovation imperative and the need to build an intelligent, sustainable enterprise with RISE with SAP on AWS. We also showed how customers are transforming business processes and accelerating innovation by using RISE, SAP BTP, and over 300 AWS services. And specifically, we talked about some architectures for the creation of certain things, such as leveraging data and analytics. We also highlighted some of the capabilities that AWS can offer around simplifying your overall S/4HANA journey, as well as modernizing your cloud infrastructure with AWS along the way. So that's all we had today. Thank you very much for your time and your attendance. And I know we've got some time for some questions if anybody has them.